She didn't speak much. She barely looked anyone in the eye. To most of her classmates, Maya was just the quiet girl in the corner, the one who wore oversized sweaters and kept her head down, like she was trying to disappear. But no one knew the storm that was brewing inside her. And no one expected what would happen when she finally stood up for herself. It started on a regular Monday morning at Crestwood High. The hallways buzzed with the usual chaos, students rushing to class, groups huddled in corners gossiping, laughter echoing through the corridors. But for Maya, it was always a quiet walk, alone, eyes glued to the floor, trying to avoid attention. Unfortunately, attention had a way of finding her. Brittany, the self-proclaimed queen bee of the school, had taken an interest in Maya. Not the good kind. Maya's silence, her shy glances, her thrifted clothes, they all made her an easy target. Alongside Brittany were her two shadows, Lexi and Tasha, always snickering, always watching. It had started with whispers, then notes left in Maya's locker, then cruel jokes in the hallway. And Maya never said a word. Not to them. Not to anyone. Until the day everything changed. Maya was at her locker, arranging her books just like every morning. The hallway had thinned out, most students already in their classrooms. That's when Brittany and her crew strolled up behind her, eyes gleaming with mischief. They didn't say anything at first, just stood there, smirking. Then Brittany spoke. "Hey, Mouse. You ever hear of deodorant? Or maybe fashion?" Maya froze, her heart racing. She didn't turn around. "Oh wait, let me help you with that outfit," Brittany added with mock sweetness, and in one sudden motion, she grabbed the back of Maya's shirt and yanked hard. The sound of fabric tearing echoed like a gunshot. Maya gasped, stumbling forward, clutching the shredded piece of her shirt. Lexi burst out laughing. Oops. Something snapped inside Maya. She turned around slowly, and for the first time, her eyes met Brittany's with a cold, steady gaze. "You shouldn't have done that," Maya said quietly. Brittany blinked. "What did you say?" The next moment happened so fast it felt like a blur. 1 second, Brittany reached out to shove Maya again. The next, she was airborne, flipping over Maya's shoulder and landing hard on the floor. Lexi screamed. Tasha backed up, wide-eyed. Maya stepped forward, calm and composed. "That's called a judo flip," she said. "My dad's been teaching me since I was 6. Brittany groaned from the floor, trying to sit up, completely stunned. "I never wanted to hurt anyone," Maya continued, her voice shaking slightly, not from fear, but from years of suppressed emotion. "But I'm done pretending I don't exist. I'm done letting you treat me like garbage." It was like the entire school paused in that moment. A few students had seen the scene unfold, and word traveled fast. Within minutes, whispers flooded the school. Maya flipped Brittany. The quiet girl did judo. She stood up to her bullies. By lunch, Maya was the talk of the school. She didn't sit alone that day. A few kind faces, people who had admired her from afar but were too shy to reach out, sat with her, asked her questions, laughed with her. It was new. Strange. But Maya smiled. Brittany didn't get suspended, she denied everything. But the fear in her eyes every time she passed Maya was clear. She never touched her again. Neither did Lexi or Tasha. Over the next few weeks, Maya didn't become popular. She didn't change overnight. She still wore oversized sweaters. She still read books at lunch. But she held her head higher. She walked with more confidence. She even joined the school's martial arts club and started teaching self-defense to other students who had faced bullying. One afternoon, a younger girl approached Maya, eyes wide with admiration. "Is it true?" she asked. "You flipped a bully?" Maya smiled gently. "Yeah. But not because I wanted to fight. Because I had to stop hiding." The girl nodded slowly. "I want to learn too." And so Maya began to teach. The story of the quiet girl who stood up became more than just a viral hallway legend. It became a message. A movement. That strength doesn't always roar. That kindness is not weakness. And that even the smallest voice can shake the walls when it finally speaks up. In the end, Maya didn't just defend herself, she gave others the courage to do the same. Because standing up for yourself isn't about revenge. It's about reclaiming your worth. And Maya. She'd never let anyone take that from her again. That night after the incident, Maya lay in bed staring at the ceiling, heart still pounding, not from fear, but from everything that had built up inside her for so long. Years of being overlooked, talked over, laughed at. She wasn't angry anymore. Just free. Her dad walked in, knocking softly on the door. "Heard something happened at school today," he said, sitting on the edge of her bed. Maya sighed, then nodded. "I used what you taught me." He smiled. "Was it the shoulder throw?" "Yup," she said. "Brittany. She tore my shirt. I couldn't let it go anymore." Her dad didn't ask more questions. He didn't have to. He knew what it had taken for his daughter, his quiet, gentle Maya, to finally stand up. He gently placed his hand on her shoulder. "You were brave, sweetheart. But remember, it's not about hurting them back. It's about knowing when enough is enough." "I know," she whispered. I didn't want to feel invisible anymore." The next day at school, something strange happened. A few students who had never even looked at her twice before were now saying hello. One girl in her science class passed her a note that read, "You're kind of awesome." Even one of the football players gave her a respectful nod in the hallway. But the attention made Maya uncomfortable. She never wanted to be famous. She just wanted peace. Brittany didn't return to school for 2 days. When she did, her smugness was gone. Her voice was quieter. She still gave Maya dirty looks, but she kept her distance. And strangely enough, it was Brittany who was now getting whispers behind her back. At lunch, Maya sat in her usual corner, but this time, a girl named Arya, from her art class, hesitated before walking over. "Can I sit here?" she asked. Maya blinked, surprised. "Sure." Arya sat down, pulled out her sketchbook. "You're really strong, you know. I've seen how they treat you. I just never had the guts to say anything." "You don't have to say anything," Maya said softly. "Just not joining them is enough." Arya smiled. "Well, I'd like to join you, if that's okay." Over the next few weeks, Maya's world started to shift. Not drastically. She was still quiet, still reserved. But people started seeing her for who she really was. And that was all she ever wanted. She joined the school's new self-defense club. Something the gym teacher started after hearing about the incident. Maya became the unofficial assistant. She taught small girls how to break grips. She showed boys twice her size how balance could beat brute strength. She found her voice, not through loudness, but through action. One afternoon, as practice ended, a boy named Connor lingered behind. He was short, wore thick glasses, and had a bruise just barely fading on his cheek. "Hey, Maya," he asked. "Can I tell you something?" She nodded. "I get picked on too. Not like you. I mean, it's bad. But after I saw what you did, I told my mom I wanted to try this class. I didn't think I could do anything right. But you make it look easy. Like, anyone can stand up if they just stop being scared." Maya knelt beside him and said gently, "It's not about not being scared, Connor. It's about being scared, and doing it anyway." He nodded. And from that day on, he never missed a class. The final turning point came during the school assembly. Principal Morgan was addressing student behavior and mentioned, without names, the importance of standing up to bullying. Then, with a small smile, he said, "We have some truly inspiring students in our halls. Not the loudest ones. But sometimes, the quietest strength leaves the loudest impact." Everyone knew who he meant. Later that week, Brittany approached Maya. Alone. No Lexi. No Tasha. There was tension. Maya straightened, ready, but not afraid. Brittany stopped a few feet away. Her eyes weren't angry anymore. Just tired. "I'm not gonna lie," Brittany muttered. "You humiliated me. But I guess I deserved it. I was just bored. And mean. And, yeah. I don't expect you to forgive me. But I'm done. I'm leaving you alone. Maya didn't say anything at first. Then she simply nodded. Good. And that was enough. The story ends not with a fight, but with growth. Maya didn't become the hero in anyone else's story. She became the hero in her own. She didn't need revenge. She didn't need applause. She just needed her space, her voice, and her courage to rise when it mattered most. By the end of the school year, Maya was no longer just the quiet girl. She was Maya, the strong one. The one who flipped the script. And in doing so, helped others rise too. Final message for viewers. Sometimes, the most powerful people are the ones who've been quiet the longest. If you're watching this and you feel invisible, unheard, or afraid, remember Maya's story. You don't have to be loud to be strong. You don't need to fight to be brave. But you do deserve respect. And you do have the right to stand up, for yourself, and for others. Because the moment you believe in your own worth, the bullies don't stand a chance.